Hello, I want to go live to tell people about the Spendthrift Trust. Yesterday, I talked about the business trust where U.S. business owners and 1099 income earners could save the federal taxes. Today, I'm going to talk about the beneficial Spendthrift Trust. This is for all U.S. visitors. I want to make sure that you know you could save so much in federal taxes. With the beneficial Spendthrift Trust, U.S. investors will stop paying short-term capital gains, interest income, dividend income, rental income, and royalties. I want to show you several examples so you will understand what is going on here. So let's get started with 3 simple questions. Please raise your hand and say, yes, 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 this is me. Do you want to give a legacy to future generations after generation? Say yes if you want to do that. Number 2, do you want to save federal taxes year after year, generation after generation? Again, wave yes. And number 3, do you want to learn the secret of the rich? Again, say yes, yes, yes. The Spendthrift Trust comes from England way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. Yes, he's the famous king who chopped off his wives' heads. He got in trouble, so he started the church so he could start divorcing them. It is contract law that came to England, to the colonies, while we were still part of England. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. It's been around since before we were actually a country. Back in February of 1913, when the tax code was written, the Baron families, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys put this into the tax code 643B, like Bravo. Most of accountants work in the 300, 400 level and don't know about the Spendthrift Trust. There are over 1 million attorneys, active attorneys in the United States, and only 4% are trust attorneys. In law school, what trust attorneys study, a textbook, is called Scott and Asher on Trust, 5th edition. The rest of the attorneys, the 96% of the other attorneys, don't even get 2 hours of trust law, so that's why 97% of all trusts sold in the United States currently are with the family trust. My mom and dad had that, and Susie Orman talks about that on PBS television. There's nothing wrong with the family trust. The only thing the family trust does is avoid going through probate, and then it dissolves. It does not save you federal taxes. It does not keep your information 100% private. It does not keep you from not paying any judgments if you are sued. And it does not stop you from having to do the paperwork for the 2024 Corporate Transparency Act that's coming from the Treasury Department. Real quick, if you have any of the trusts, you won't have to do that paperwork. If you don't have the trust, listen up. If you are currently an LLC, doing business as, or corporation, you don't have to do the paperwork until January 1st of 2025. You have a full year. If you start a new LLC, doing business as, or corporation in 2024, you have 90 days or 3 months to do the paperwork. If you do not do the paperwork, there are some harsh punishments. You will either have to pay $10,000 or 2 years in jail, or both. Think of that, $10,000 and 2 years in jail because you didn't do paperwork for the Treasury Department. That's a little bit crazy. If you do the paperwork and it's not done correctly, they also will charge you $500 a day per day for not having it done correctly. What if you do the paperwork and they don't get back to you in 6 weeks? That they're going to include Saturdays and Sundays. So 6 times 7, oh, you're going to make me do math, is 42 days, and then times 500. With the Spendthrift Trust, the 4 ways it's going to save you money is going to be federal taxes, keep your information private, your LLC, S Corp or C Corp does not do that. You'll pay no judgments if you get sued, and you won't do the Corporate Transparency Act. Now, the beneficial trust is for all investors. You will save the following taxes year after year, generation after generation. You will no longer pay short-term capital gains or long-term capital gains. The difference, short-term are a year or less, long-term are a year or more. You will no longer pay interest income. If you're a passive investor, a forex investor, doing subject to, creative financing, seller financing, or if you are doing the BRRRR strategy or have notes. You will no longer pay dividend income. If you're in the stock market, you're a day trader, you're doing commodities trading, futures trading, binary options. If you're an options trader, listen up. You're getting taxed at 40% for a year or less and 60% at a year or more. You will save that with Spendthrift Trust. You will no longer pay rental income. Yes, yes, yes. You can take depreciation and you can do cost averaging. Be my guest. But remember, you will keep your information private and you'll pay no judgments. What if the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman? Or someone trips and falls and breaks their ankle? When they try to sue you, you're worth nothing. That lawsuit goes away as frivolous. It has saved my clients thousands of dollars. And then finally, royalties. Royalties, if you are an actor, an actress, a songwriter, a writer, if you're in the NFT world, if you have intellectual property, this trust is copywritten, so it is a royalty, and I don't have to pay taxes on this. If you have mineral rights, or if you're in the NFT world, this trust will save you year after year, generation after generation. So I want to give you some examples of some of my clients. Me personally, when I started this trust, the first property I put into it was a bank-owned reverse mortgage contract. I bought the contract for $20,000, and when it went to auction, it was supposed to go auction for $50,000. My personal story, I started real estate investing in late 2018. In 2019, I was working full-time, and I wholesaled seven properties. Doing fantastic. When I had to go do my 2019 taxes, I found out I owed the federal government $79,000 in short-term capital gains. Let me tell you something. My stomach dropped to my floor, and I got my parking pass validated, and I sat in the parking garage for 20 minutes just crying and crying. My CPA put me on a tax plan, so I knew my taxes went from 22% up to 24%. Now I don't pay capital gains ever again. Hence the title of my podcast, Stop Paying Capital Gains Now. So that's short-term capital gains. If you are married filing jointly and you wholesale a house for $50,000 and you're at 22%, you will pay $11,000 on that wholesale deal April 15th the year after. You do 2 wholesale deals in 1 year, you paid for the trust. Long-term capital gains are over a year. So if you are selling a business, let's say if you're selling a restaurant, one of my clients sold a family restaurant. He and his brothers built it. They was a 42-year-old family restaurant. They sold it for $3 million. He and his wife saved $460,000 at 15% or $600,000 at 20%. We're talking 6 figures because he sold that building. Now, another client of mine who sold a car wash, we had to take out what he paid for the car wash at the beginning and what he sold the car wash for. What he's going to do is he's going to save $165,000 at 15% or $220,000 at 20%. I am not a CPA, so I can't tell him which way he'll pay it, but I'll give him both figures. When you set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me at www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling, I will take you out to NerdWallet, show you the formula, figure out what your tax bracket is. I will send you 2 pages of case law to show that the trust is legal. I will also share with you the book that I read about the Rockefellers, so you can have that. And know that the 72 years of the copyright on this trust, Robert Benson was a Harvard law professor. None of the trusts have ever been audited. One trust was examined 7 years ago by a senior trust agent. So again, if I can help you save capital gains, interest income, dividend income, rental income, and royalties with the beneficial Spendthrift Trust, please go out to my website, www.thetrustisyou.com, for a free video that you can watch on your own time or set up a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. Thank you for listening to this short vignette. I will go live January 9th at 4 p.m. East Coast time with a new presentation and open it up for question and answering. Have a beautiful New Year's. Take care, everyone.